Oh, okay. Cool. Got a phone call right before showtime, right at showtime, actually. So I'm a few minutes late. What's up, everybody? Hey, what is up? I was just going to pull up a thing. Got a little music playing. Going to play a little Bill O'Reilly, I think, for you. Okay, hold on. Let me stop this. You guys doing okay? We're closer to World War for sure. Yeah, definitely closer. And bad stuff is happening in Palestine or in the occupied territories, whatever you want to call them. They bombed a refugee camp today. And many people are outraged, except for Israelis or the Israelis who are speaking on it. This is what happens when you have a war of light against darkness. But first,
that's tomorrow. And that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video. Okay.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live. Right. Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
Always gets it right. That's the thing. It's actually enlightening, or it's helpful to watch. Just to remember, we're doing it live. And I'm going to show you what's happening from Gaza. I'll show you what's happening. I could show you the latest clips. Elon Musk was on Joe Rogan, and the episode just aired on Spotify, and a lot of it on Twitter as well. So I have clips for that for people who are interested, and you can tell me what you want to do first. So Jen, yeah, that's Bill O'Reilly saying we'll do it live. I have a little bit more of a short documentary I played about how Israel influences social media and Wikipedia and stuff. I'll play that for you. I was going to play that for you first. Got to remember to play the intro for today's show. We're still talking about cryptocurrency. Sometimes we're talking about finances. Sometimes there's some turmoil in the housing market coming up potentially. So in any case, thank you. Thank you for being here. I feel blessed to be alive today. It's a beautiful day outside here in California. So yeah, let me show you how Israel influences the media or the things that you see. I was playing a little bit of this yesterday. I'll play another 3 minutes or so. Let's see. Let me share that tab. And then, yeah, we have Ron DeSantis being called out for wearing boots with high heels. So I have that. Have you seen that yet? He says he's 5'11", but that's the thing. People are height racist. People are height racist. So it's not his fault, but he does appear to be walking around in high heels. So I'll show you that. And he was called out on a show for it. And some people are saying it's the end of his run. I think, wow, it's just hard to pick. It's hard to get excited about politics when everybody supports Israel no matter what. There was a protester today. Let me see if I have that. I think, yeah, I have the protester at Blinken's speech today. I'll show you a little bit about how Israel controls what you see with things like Hasbara, and how social media trolls control the information that goes out, how you have to be really careful about what you say so you don't end up on the other side of these trolls. So here we go. Let's see. We'll go here. All right, let me play you some more of this. This is how they control Wikipedia.
And of course, the campaign starts, and before you know it, the guy's legal. And he's an anti-Semite, because that's what we say he is.
Another pro-Israel organization that targets public information on the internet is CAMERA, the Committee for Accuracy in Middle East Reporting in America. A 2008 expose revealed a CAMERA initiative to infiltrate Wikipedia in order to rewrite Palestinian history, pass off crude propaganda as fact, and take over Wikipedia administrative structures to ensure these changes go either undetected or unchallenged. Leaked emails from CAMERA called for volunteers to secretly work on editing Wikipedia entries. They were instructed to, quote, avoid for obvious reasons picking a username that marks you as pro-Israel, or that lets people know your real name. The emails emphasized that volunteers were to avoid editing Israel-related articles for a short period of time after signing up as editors to avoid arousing suspicion, and to always log in, because if you make changes while not logged in, Wikipedia will record your computer's IP address. In 2010, 2 Israeli groups began offering community workshops on Zionist editing of Wikipedia entries with the aim of making sure that information in the online encyclopedia reflects the worldview of Zionist groups.
Moetzet Yesh, in conjunction with My Israel, has arranged an instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
And again in 2013, there was evidence of pro-Israel tampering with Wikipedia when an employee of an Israeli institute called NGO Monitor edited articles about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in an allegedly biased manner. According to the Israeli newspaper Haaretz, Dreiman concealed the facts that he was an employee of NGO Monitor and that he was using a second username, which is forbidden under Wikipedia's rules. In 2017, yet another Israeli project was launched with the intention of controlling discourse and promoting a pro-Israel narrative online. Known as Act-IL, the project uses a software application that leverages the power of communities to support Israel through organized online activity. The software is a joint venture of Israel's IDC University, the Israeli American Council, and another American group called the Maccabee Task Force, which was created to combat the international boycott of Israel over its human rights abuses, which it terms an anti-Semitic movement. The project is also supported by Israel's Strategic Affairs Ministry and Israel's intelligence community. Its CEO is an 8-year veteran of Israeli Army intelligence named Yarden Ben Yosef. Israeli media Ynet News reports that the Israeli military has begun scouring Jewish communities abroad for young computer prodigies to recruit for its ranks.
There you go. That's a good quote.
In Operations Pillar of Defense and Protective Edge,
I'll play more of that maybe every day. It's like a 14-minute video that I found on Twitter that's pretty educational, and I can play you guys little clips of it every day. So now I'm going to get to the bombing of the refugee camp. Have you guys seen? Did people show? There are many images on Twitter of people like dead from bombings and so forth, and kids that might be deceased. Are people showing that on YouTube? Because I'm concerned myself about those images being considered too violent, and for some reason them using that as a reason to give me a strike. So I don't want to show those things to you so much. Although in wartime, those kinds of images are considered okay. But I haven't been showing them. And I also did not show the hockey player getting his neck slashed. Do you guys think that was a freak accident, or do you think he did it on purpose? There's lots of racial stuff, which I find, in fact, some of it is just blatantly racist, I believe, because the guy was black. But there's still reason that if he did that skate neck slicing on purpose, that he should face consequences for it. But I haven't shown that either. I'm refraining from showing lots of things that could possibly get me in trouble. But I will have to show you. I could show you the bombing of this refugee camp. They bombed and they took credit for it. And then not only that, but that's what they plan to do. And they're making references to things like the firebombing of Dresden to justify killing Palestinians. And then there are people who openly say that that every Palestinian in Gaza is a fair target and that you don't even really, that they shouldn't even be warned about bombings. So the IDF has taken credit for this, and I'll show you that clip. Before I do that, I'll play you the intro for the show, and then we'll get going with it. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, something like the real news. So yeah, I'll show you still picture of there's the rubble from the refugee camp that got bombed, and the IDF took credit for it. I'll show you that the IDF did take credit for it. I have it right here, clip on CNN, where even Wolf Blitzer, I think, well, sentiment, Israel says it's a war of light against darkness, and that we should remember how the U.S. firebombed cities and nuked Japan when we're thinking about what Israel should do to the Palestinians in Gaza. So let me play you this clip. This is the IDF taking credit for it.
We were focused
too.
on a target, a senior commander, Wolf, and we'll be updating you with more data as the hour moves ahead.
But even if that Hamas commander was there amidst all those Palestinian refugees who are in that Jabalia refugee camp, Israel still went ahead and dropped a bomb there, attempting to kill this Hamas commander, knowing that a lot of innocent civilians, men, women, and children, presumably would be killed. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's not what you're hearing, Wolf. We're focused on this commander, again, who you'll get more data who this man was. Killed many Israelis. We're doing everything we can. It's a very complicated battle space. There could be infrastructure there. There could be tunnels there. We're still looking into it, and we'll give you more data as the hour moves ahead.
But you know that there are a lot of refugees, a lot of innocent civilians, men, women, and children in that refugee camp as well, right?
This is the tragedy of war, Wolf. I mean, as you know, we've been saying for days,
This
move
is the
south.
tragedy of war.
Civilians that are not involved with Hamas, please move south.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a little bit more information. You knew there were civilians there. You knew there were refugees, all sorts of refugees, but you decided to still drop a bomb on that refugee camp, attempting to kill the Hamas commander. By the way, was he killed?
I can't confirm yet. There'll be more updated. Yes, we know that he was killed. About the civilians there, we're doing everything we can to minimize. I'll say it again. Sadly, they are hiding themselves within civilian population. And again, we are doing this stage by stage, and we're going to go after every one of these terrorists who was involved in that heinous attack on the 7th of October. Wolf.
So there you go. So he took credit for it. He said the Wolf Blitzer, who has been behind Israel so far, still seems surprised that they'd be willing to bomb women and children. But let me show you. This is going to be some foreign language stuff, so I might have to translate for the podcast audience. But I've played it on previous shows. They've made it's a holy war, and there's good and evil, and the Palestinians are evil, and you get to kill them. Here is a guy that says, quote, "We in Israel are not interested in the rational discussion. For us, there is only one objective: to destroy Gaza, to destroy this absolute evil." So let me show you that clip here. This is from Italy, though, so it's in Italian. Show you that. You have to read the subtitles.
In Israele, almeno la popolazione, siamo non interessati in tutti questi discorsi razionali palestinesi e tutti che anche ho sentito qua. Per noi c'è uno scopo.
One objective: to destroy Gaza.
Distruggere questo male assoluto. Distruggere questo. Perché non c'è la possibilità dopo l'olocausto. Non c'è la possibilità dopo l'olocausto che saranno e ragazze ebrei in così situazione.
For Jewish youngsters to be in this situation, they're comparing it to the Holocaust. It says after the Holocaust.
Ambasciatore, lei sta dicendo una cosa
non sta facendo una buona politica.
There you go. And they say you're not making good politics. Well, he doesn't care. They don't care. I mean, that's the attitude. So, and usually people say, oh, they're saying the quiet part out loud, right? Yeah, he said after the Holocaust, there's no excuse after the 7th of October, where, we don't know what happened on October 7th. Really, there's a scarcity of images. We haven't seen 1,400 funerals. There's not, and then there's evidence that the IDF killed people too during that raid, killed people on their own side, hostages and so forth. So here's another guy in another language on RT saying, I'll try to translate it for you. He said, there are no innocents in Gaza. There are 2.5 million terrorists. There are no innocents in Gaza. There are 2.5 million terrorists. So we shouldn't even have to tell them to get out of the way. We should just be able to bomb them. I'll play that.
אין חפים מפשע, זה בדיוק שאתה אומר אוכלוסייה, אין
There are no innocents in Gaza. There are 2.5 million terrorists.
ולכן אין משמעות להקש בגג.
That's why roof knocking is useless.
כדי שחף מפשע
Roof knocking is for innocents to evacuate buildings. There are no innocents in Gaza.
כי כולם טרוריסטים.
They're all terrorists. They're all terrorists. There you go. So the guy from the IDF with Wolf Blitzer seemed to kind of say, oh, well, they're targeting a senior Hamas leader who was involved in the October 7th attack, apparently. But least of all, with the October 7th attack, they could have allowed it to happen because they said they didn't have, it was a very strange response on October 7th. So I've been playing you lots of clips to this account. Here's actually from the New York Times. I'll play that. I'll show you that next. Aaron Mate is reporting for the New York Times. This is the quote from the New York Times. It became evident to U.S. officials that Israeli leaders believed mass civilian casualties were an acceptable price to pay in the military campaign. In private conversations with American counterparts, Israeli officials referred to how the United States and other allied powers resorted to devastating bombings in Germany and Japan during World War II, including the dropping of 2 atomic warheads in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, to try to defeat those countries. So that they've been telling U.S. politicians that, and U.S. politicians, they just passed that thing. I mean, all of them support Israel. All of them support Israel. You have to ask yourself why. What is the reason? If you say it's for money, they'll say you're anti-Semitic. If they say But what is it? Why is it that every politician, except maybe AOC and a few other people, support everything Israel does? Here's Trump. He says that it's all Hamas's fault. Whoever dies, it's all Hamas's fault. I'll play that. Trump. This is in front of the Jewish Coalition. I played a bunch of clips from this yesterday. Oops, hold on. I'm not showing the right tab. I'll start over.
On that terrible Saturday morning, the world saw once again that the conflict between Israel and Hamas is not a conflict between two equal sides. This is a fight between civilization and savagery.
There you go.
Between decency and depravity, and between good and evil. There is no comparison between a group that worships death and a group that cherishes life and cherishes our nation. Every single life that is lost in this conflict is on the shoulders of Hamas alone. It's Hamas alone. And I think you have to really add in the word Iran. People don't want to talk about it. There can be no sympathy, no excuses, and no escape from these monsters, and we will do what has to be done.
There you go.
On that terrible Saturday morning,
including giving them as much money as they need, as much support as they need. He's not an evangelical Christian himself, but he gets support from evangelical Christians, which are hoping for the apocalypse. Where war in the Middle East is a good thing because it heralds, that Jesus Christ will be coming back soon. Here they are at the UN putting Yellow Star of David badges on them. So if you don't support the current offensive in Gaza, you're like the Nazis doing a second Holocaust. Here we go.
So I will remind you, from this day on, each time you look at me, you will remember what staying silent in the face of evil means. Just like my grandparents and the grandparents of millions of Jews, from now on, my team and I will wear yellow stars. We will wear this star until you condemn the atrocities of Hamas and demand the immediate release of our hostages. We walk with a yellow star as a symbol of pride, a reminder that we swore to fight back, to defend ourselves. Never again is now.
There you go. Never again. So they're bringing up the Holocaust once again. So they say it's the worst killing of Jewish people since the Holocaust, but it's very small in comparison. They say 1,400 were killed in that attack. And since then, has Hamas done anything? They fire rockets that get shot down. So that's all the rhetoric from that side. And you see that our politicians mostly go along with it. So I'm going to go ahead and clear out some tabs. Our politicians mostly go along with it. Which politicians are opposed to it? Well, Vladimir Putin. And you saw that Trump brought up Iran too. Now Yemen has declared war on Israel. So it's the war is broadening. And then this I mean, I don't know what's going to happen after this refugee camp bombing. I mean, that's really bad. Worse than the hospital thing, because the hospital thing they didn't take credit for. This thing they're actually taking credit for it. Just saying, oh, well, we had to kill somebody. I've heard Zionists before say they don't never intentionally target women and children, but in this case, they bombed a refugee camp trying to take out one guy, and apparently at least 400 people have been killed. I saw, dead bodies in there and stuff. Here's what Vladimir Putin says. Vladimir Putin says, when you look at the bloody children, dead children, how women, old people suffer, how doctors die, and fists clench and tears well up in your eyes, you can't say it any other way, but we shouldn't. We don't have the right to allow ourselves to be guided by emotions. We must clearly understand who is really behind the tragedy of the people of the Middle East and other regions of the world, who organizes deadly chaos, who benefits from it. Today, this has become obvious and clear to everyone. The customers act openly and brazenly. It is the ruling elites of the United States and their satellites that are the main beneficiaries of global instability. So you have Vladimir Putin saying that the United States and its satellites, including Israel, are actually responsible for spreading this chaos. But very few other people are saying that. I will show you a protester that interrupted Tony Blinken today. Let me show you that. So this is going on in Israel and Palestine. I imagine there will be more protests after this. The protests have already been pretty large. But who's going to speak up for the Palestinians? Who in politics is going to speak up for the Palestinians? I have no idea. It might be AOC. Like, we might become fans of AOC. If we weren't fans already, we might become fans of AOC because she might be the only person saying we should have a ceasefire right now. So here's Tony Blinken being interrupted by a protester, at least today, before he could
Vice
speak.
Chair Collins, distinguished members of the Appropriations Committee, thank you for this opportunity to testify before you today.
The Geneva Convention forbids the bombing of densely populated areas. Stops according to genocide and ethnic cleansing of the people of Gaza. Ceasefire now! Save the children of Gaza! Save the children of Gaza! Ceasefire now! Where is your pride, America?
I do recognize that people feel very passionately, but I ask that we have order in this hearing room and respect our speakers. We will move forward with the hearing and allow the people here and the American people to hear from their witnesses. Senator Blinken.
Thank you, Chair. 2.5 years ago, our adversaries assessed that the United States was becoming permanently divided at home, alienated from our allies.
So there you go. You saw the guy trying to ask questions to John Fetterman. Yesterday, I played that clip where a guy just tried to ask him why he won't support a ceasefire. And he got escorted out for asking, a guy that said he voted for John Fetterman. So this is where we're at. There are protesters and there will continue to be protesters. And I'm protesting. I mean, it's horrible what's happening. It's horrible what's happening. Yemen has joined the fight. Let me play you that clip. It's pretty, once again in a foreign language. But Yemen is committing to launching ballistic missiles, drones, and winged munitions at various Israeli targets within occupied Palestine until the Israeli genocide against the people of Gaza ceases. That's what the tweet says. I'll play you him saying that with subtitles. Okay, so this is Yemen declaring war on Israel. So Yemen is in, and then the thing is Yemen is supported by Iran. So is this going to broaden into a conflict with Iran? Is it going to broaden into a world war? Well, here we are one step closer. So I'll play this clip.
قامت قواتنا المسلحة بإطلاق دفعة كبيرة من الصواريخ البالستية والمجنحة وعدد كبير من الطائرات المسيرة على أهداف مختلفة للعدو الإسرائيلي في الأراضي المحتلة. إن القوات المسلحة اليمنية تؤكد أن هذه العملية هي العملية الثالثة نصرة لإخواننا المظلومين في فلسطين، وتؤكد استمرارها في تنفيذ المزيد من الضربات النوعية بالصواريخ والطائرات المسيرة حتى يتوقف العدوان الإسرائيلي.
There you go. He says they're going to keep firing missiles and drones until the Israeli aggression stops. So that's Yemen getting involved in the war. Okay. So that's my news for you coming out of Israel. Now, there's a huge drop today from Time magazine saying that Zelensky is in big trouble and the Ukraine is in big trouble with their war, and they're not getting nearly as much support, and that there's tons of corruption Here, I'll read you the tweet summarizing that, and then we'll get to funnier videos. We'll get videos of Ron DeSantis wearing high heels and somebody getting knocked out with a Coke bottle. And I'll have clips. I have clips of Elon Musk on Joe Rogan. But this is the Time Magazine drop. I read the article, which is pretty damning. Basically, Time Magazine has come out and said that Ukraine has no chance. I'll read this summary from Kanakoa the Great on Twitter. Time Magazine reports that Ukraine struggles to rally financial support after its failed counteroffensive and amid allegations of widespread corruption. A top Ukrainian presidential advisor warns that, quote, people are stealing like there's no tomorrow, unquote, when asked about bribes and corruption. 59% of Americans don't want Congress to provide more weapons to Kyiv, up from 35% in June. The southeastern fifth of Ukraine, where the population is predominantly Russian speakers, remains under Russian control. Zelensky's close advisor warns that, quote, he deludes himself. We're out of options. We're not winning, but try telling him that, unquote. Ukraine's shortage of soldiers is more dire than its deficit in arms and ammunition. Draft officers pull men off trains and buses and send them to the front. The death toll has long surpassed 100,000 on each side of the war, forcing the draft of the elderly, raising the average age of a Ukrainian soldier to around 43 years. Corruption remains widespread despite Zelensky firing numerous officers and the defense minister. Zelensky is worried that the focus of Ukraine's allies in the US and Europe and of global media has already shifted to Israel, Palestine, and the Gaza Strip. So there you go. Zelensky got thrown under the bus. And yeah, they say they're 43 years old and they're not necessarily that healthy because they say this is Ukraine, not Scandinavia, where people are healthier at 43 years. So I'm 45. I can't imagine going to war. I'd be useless. I would be useless as a soldier myself, but I would have been useless the whole time. I'm not into killing people and fighting. But yeah, this article from Time Magazine. So the big change in support for Ukraine. They say, as far as Zelensky, speaking about Zelensky, it says his convictions haven't changed. Despite the recent setbacks in the battlefield, he does not intend to give up fighting or to sue for any kind of peace. On the contrary, his belief in Ukraine's ultimate victory over Russia has hardened into a form that worries some of his advisors. It is immovable, verging on the messianic. See, he's got a messianic complex just like I do. So he deludes himself, they say, but try telling him that. So that was in Time Magazine today. You can look up the story. Just look up Time Magazine, Ukraine. And it's a short enough article that you can read the whole thing and it's not locked behind a paywall or anything. So that's the press sort of telling too much truth about what's going on in Ukraine. So that's going on. Pete Bogg in the chat says, Zell and cohorts stole $500 million from gasoline funds alone. Yeah, they say the corruption is off the hook. I've seen some other people saying that rich Ukrainians are all over the place in Europe now because of how much money they're stealing and how it's a money laundering operation. So yeah, that's a big article in Time Magazine about what's going on in Ukraine today. So, okay, cool. Let me show you some clips. Let's see what clips there are from the Joe Rogan podcast with Elon Musk. We're going to have a number of clips here, I'm guessing. I probably can't talk about the convid. I probably can't talk about COVID or wearing masks. I don't even know if I can talk about this other thing. Let's see. Here's some clips. I'll play you some from Joe Rogan having on Elon Musk today. So let me play this clip.
Free speech is only relevant. The First Amendment is only relevant if you allow people you don't like to say things you don't like. Because if you like it, you don't need a First Amendment. So the whole point of free speech is that, frankly, even people you hate say things you hate. Because if people you hate can say things that you hate, that means that they can't stop you from saying what you want to say.
Right.
Which is very, very important.
Yeah,
free speech is only.
They say the value of Twitter now, he's valuing it at $19 billion. They've lost like 50% of advertising revenue. Tweeting is down like 30%. So, and only conservatives have seen a bump in their reach, whereas liberals haven't, which makes sense because they were the ones being, let's see. Republicans were suppressed 10 times the rate of Democrats. Okay. So here, let me play you this clip. He says that basically Twitter used to be a state publication because of all the censorship and how much the government had influence. Let me play that for you.
Well, that was one of the things about the old Twitter was the propaganda and the adherence to whatever the CDC was saying and the dismissing of legitimate scientists, guys like Jay Bhattacharya from Stanford and legit guys.
Yes.
And they were suppressing them and even banning them. They banned Alex Berenson. I mean, it was wild. They banned Alex for essentially reading peer-reviewed papers.
Yeah. No, I mean, all Twitter was basically an arm of the government.
Yeah.
So
was that shocking? Like, what was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre, was the Twitter files. When you let Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi and all those guys get in the Twitter, and the response where Matt Taibbi gets audited. I mean, which is just wild. I mean, it's just so blatant and so in your face.
Yeah, it's weird. No, I mean, the degree to which, and by the way, Jack didn't really know this, but the degree to which Twitter was simply an arm of the government was not well understood by the public. And
he said Jack didn't know. I always like Jack Dorsey. I feel like did get a bad rap. I think he's an okay guy. He's a Bitcoin guy, and I think he really was a free speech guy who just didn't fight hard enough for free speech, basically. But he said Jack didn't know how bad it was. But so I have a feeling he's kind of friendly with Jack.
It was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda, basically. It's a state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It's a state publication.
And was the justification from their perspective that they are progressive liberals, they have the right intentions, it's important that they stay in power, the progressive liberals stay in government and power, because this is their...
There was basically oppression of any views that would even, I would say, be considered middle of the road. But certainly anything on the right. I'm not talking about like far right. I'm just talking mildly right. The people like Republicans were suppressed at 10 times the rate of Democrats. Now that's because old Twitter was fundamentally controlled by the far left. It was like completely controlled by the far left, and that's why I say like San Francisco, Berkeley is a niche ideology. It's hard to say like, is there a place that's more far left than San Francisco, Berkeley?
Maybe Portland.
But it's like it's
right there.
It's like it's those two places are the most far left places in America.
Yes.
So from their standpoint, everything is to the right, including moderates.
Right.
So now, if you internalize a far left position, everything seems wrong to you that is not far left.
Right.
And so they naturally oppressed anything that didn't agree with their views.
There you go. So yeah, a little bit going back. Insert name here in the chat says they banned him or her, and they're nobody, and said they won't give my account back because I was free Julian Assange. They're not fans of Julian. So there you go. They still won't give you your account back, but it is better than it used to be. Yeah, but Twitter is, in general, a lot of people complain. I mean, my engagement is way down, way down. I don't even bother actually to tweet. I know I went crazy for a while and was just tweeting some weird stuff, but I don't even mess with Twitter. I go on there though to get my news. In fact, I'm looking at my tabs and they're all from X, Twitter. So it's still a source of news, and it's great that people aren't being banned. But as far as free speech goes, that they're trying to, let me see if there's any more clips. There's stuff about masks, stuff about the environmental movement that has gone too far. Okay, I could play that clip too. There's no shortage of power, he says. You could actually power the United States with 100 miles by 100 miles of solar. So, yeah, lots of different clips. I'll go over those clips tomorrow. But people aren't doing well. They have the broadcasting on Twitter. I can't seem to broadcast on Twitter. I think it may be because I was banned from live streaming a long time ago, but I'm not able to. When I look at live streams on Twitter, people just doing this, like doing this show, it's not an alternative to YouTube. I think I'd get maybe 5 people tuned in. And when I see other people do it who had bigger YouTube channels and stuff, it's not the kind of place for live streaming, but I tune into a few things once in a while. You see Dr. Shiva is live right now with 43 people. Roger Stone is live with 9 people right now. The thing that seems to be big on Twitter Spaces, there's one Twitter Space basically that does really well, and gets tens of thousands of people tuned in. The one run by that guy Mario, but that seems to be the main Twitter Spaces. So I don't know about the future of Twitter. Anyway, Elon Musk says it's worth 19 billion now. Remember, he paid 44 billion for it, so it's going down kind of. Only a few people seem to be doing well. I don't know how the monetization is working out. So anyway, that's Twitter for you. But I still use it to get my information. Now let me show you the video of Ron DeSantis. That people are saying he's wearing heels. So I got 2 videos of Ron DeSantis wearing heels. I'll show you that. Jack Posobiec said it just ended his career with this clip here. So this is a clip. Ron DeSantis was on Patrick Bet-David's show. So let me play you that clip.
I'm sure your marketing team points out how they're trying to troll you in the marketplace. Okay, I'm sure they're doing that. Can you bring this one clip? I know you were on, what do you call it? On, what was it? Bill Maher, and Bill Maher talked.
Hey, if you want to support the show, we take super chats. We also sell t-shirts. I'm wearing our Crypto Future t-shirt. It's only $10 in the sale section. I have a room full. I could show you. I maybe will show you later. I showed you guys yesterday. I have a room full of crates with shirts. I have this shirt right here. Lift the Veil, Never Normal, which is $15 in the sale section of the website. And I have stacks of these still here. So if you want to support the show, 100% of your purchase will go into our bank account. We probably won't order shirts anymore because we've been suppressed so much by YouTube and had my main channel deleted. So if you want to support the show, it's running along the bottom of the screen, truthclothing.io. You can go there and pick up our t-shirts, which are awesome. Not just Lift the Veil shirts, but we have our propaganda hoodies and stuff. Here, I'll show you this. Here's like a propaganda hoodie. It says propaganda, and then it's got all the news networks on it. So you can pick that stuff up, and it's very helpful for us if you do that. I'm going to the post office today to deliver some orders. So I am 6'1", and I lie about my height because everybody does. I lie about my height so people don't get confused. or people who are shorter than me don't get offended, because people will love to be women, you know, are very, if you go on dating apps and stuff, at least this is my recollection, you know, they'll say, oh, no one under 6 feet tall or what have you. And our presidents all have been pretty tall. What, like, let's see, like, what's the average height of U.S. presidents? Let's see. They've all been very tall. Like, yeah, they've been mostly over 6 feet tall. So average is 5'11", and that's what Ron DeSantis says he is. Let me finish playing the clip. Here you go. And he does appear to be wearing heels of some sort. So anyway, I'll play that for you.
Talked about the boots. I've seen you walk with these boots. Go ahead and play this clip. This on TikTok went viral. It doesn't have 1 million views. It doesn't have, 10 million views. This thing's got 1.2 million likes. And some people are wondering,
what are they? I don't even, I haven't seen that.
They've not shown this to you. Okay,
No.
What they're trying to say with this is that in your boots, you have heels.
No.
That's what they're trying to say.
Those are just standard off the rack Lucchese.
How tall are you, Governor? How tall?
5'11".
5'11". Okay. Why don't you wear tennis shoes and dress shoes?
I do wear tennis shoes when I work out. Yeah, 100%.
You do.
Yep.
Okay. I got a gift for you. I'd love for you to wear. Okay. I shop at Ferragamo. Okay. And
I don't accept gifts. I can't accept it.
I totally get it.
I'm sorry.
So there you go. So people are saying that's the end of his career. I'll show you him walking though on TikTok, and he does look like he is wearing heels. So you want to see that clip? I'll play that for you here. See how he's walking? He is walking funny. Bootgate is trending. But he looks uncomfortable, at least. He does look like he's walking in heels. So, but Ron DeSantis, there's lots of reasons. I was thinking I'd vote for him, but he's been a terrible candidate. So I'm so turned off on politics. I mean, everybody's pro-Israel, 100%. I mean, it's not just being pro-Israel. Like, I'm not anti-Israel. I think they can have their own country and stuff. And if they're going to occupy territory, they should at least be nice to the people whose territory they're occupying and stop kicking them off their own land. I mean, that's my thoughts. But they'll call me an anti-Semite for that. But still, and he shuts down free speech, on campuses and stuff. So he's not pro free speech, at least when it comes to Israel. And he's been to the Wailing Wall and stuff. Okay, so now I'll show you video of a shoplifter getting knocked out with a bottle, so you guys can see that trending clip on the internet. Let me see. Here is a quiet clip. Look from the right side over here. Somebody's going to come in and throw a bottle at this guy and knock him out. So they tried to stop him from stealing. Look at this. You want to see it again? I'll show it. Here, watch. Wow. That was a really good throw. He hit him right in the head with a bottle. So I'll show you one more time. Here, watch this guy. Boom. Hits him right in the head. What are the odds of that throw? I mean, he could have hit the security guard. So that's funny video for you. Okay, so we have funny video of Ron DeSantis. Let me see what's going on in the chat. And then I have economic news. This is an apocalyptic show. So I do cover economic news. You know what I've been following is Solana. Solana cryptocurrency has been doing great. I do crypto consultations for anybody who's interested in that. I also do that too. If anybody is interested in a consultation, you can reach out to me on Twitter by direct message. My DMs are open, or by texting 650-GAY-TAXI. So, okay, let me show you guys. Give car back searches. People are losing their cars. Okay, so let me show you the financial news. This is give car back searches are at an all-time high. here on Google. So people are trying to give their cars back. They're having economic problems. Zero Hedge says Deutsche Bank estimates that the Treasury will need to borrow 1.5 trillion over the current and next quarter after having already borrowed 1 trillion in the last quarter. Our national debt is going up, not by $1 trillion a month yet, but it might soon. It's the only thing we can do is devalue our currency, which is why I talk about cryptocurrency a lot. Home buyers, here we go. Home buyers are backing out of deals at the highest rate in a year. Okay, so that's home buyer news. Let's see. Pfizer just reported a net loss of $2.38 billion in Q3. Revenue's down 42% compared to last year. And we could talk about why that is, because nobody's getting the booster shots. And the Pfizer stock is way down. So that's some financial news. Let's see. I got a super chat. Oh, and here's there was a case where there was a class action lawsuit involving real estate where damages were awarded of 1.78 billion, and all of these real estate companies are diving on the news. Hey, Arthur McGonnell. Hey, thanks, man. Arthur McDonald with a 20-pound super chat, which is like $27 or something, probably, if I had to guess. Thanks. Happy rebirth, Captain Scorpio. Love up. Have you heard of the Balfour Agreement being null and void from midnight tonight? No, Arthur, but I will have to research that. Maybe you can send me that information. How would it? I mean, they got Israel. I mean, the Jewish people got the state of Israel, which they still have. Nobody's talking about taking that away from them. So I haven't heard of the Balfour Agreement being null and void, but thank you so much. It makes a difference. Every little bit makes a difference. If I get a little money somehow every time I stream, then it makes it so much more worthwhile. It's the only thing I can do because of my newly received criminal record. I'm having trouble with employment and stuff. So I can do this, and the fact that people like it and tune into it is really helpful for me. And I'm going through. Anyway. Thank you, Arthur McGonnell, for the 20-pound super chat. I haven't heard about that, but thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah, every little bit counts. And you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil to donate to the show. Teresa Samutz says it's true. Okay, I'll look into it. Do you guys want to see Sumi? Sumi's here in the room with me. She begs for super chats. That's what we do around this time in the show. Hey, Sumi, you moved your bed. Sumi's here. And we got t-shirts all around. And I can help, like I said, with if you want to pay me for my time, I can do consulting one-on-one with people too. But this is Sumi, who says thank you. Thank you, Sumi. Thank you for that 20-pound super chat. I really appreciate it. It really helps. Every little bit helps. So I'm blessed. We have nice weather here and stuff. So I appreciate it. October 31st, Balfour expiration. Well, I'll look it up right now. Balfour expiration. October 31st. Oh, it was authorized on the 31st of October, 1917. So I don't know what it means. It was authorized October 31st. Oh, thanks, Be More Busker. Thanks, Be More Busker. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, that's really nice, Jim. Do you want to call in, Jim? I can open up the phone. I'm feeling generous now. I'm feeling good. I can open up I can open up. Oh, wow. Job for 9. Thanks, Job for 9. Wow. You guys are really cool. Do you want me to open up the phone, Jim, so you can call in? I have it open now. Let's see. I can put up the phone number. I haven't taken calls for a while. I get scared too because I never know what people will say. But and I don't want to get any strikes. But as long as you're nice and you don't call from a block number, I can take phone calls too. You want to call in, Jim? I can play the it is amazing how these intros that people made for me are so on point.
Fucking shit.
650-429-8294. This is the lockstep episode. This is Nathan here on the air. If you'd like to arrange a consultation. Here's Jim. Here's Jim. Hey, you're on the air.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, Jim from Baltimore.
Hey, Jim. What's going on, man? How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you, too.
Yeah, man. I was on Jedi's stream earlier.
Oh, okay. What were you guys talking about?
Well, it was more like, it was random stuff, but there was like these 3 prank callers that had these vocoding things or whatever they call it. They changed their voices, and you know the back when Pizzagate was going on, right? The one musician band or whatever, the
yeah,
Majestic Ape,
Majestic
right?
Ape, yeah,
So somebody got on there on his stream saying he was Majestic Ape, and he had this almost the same kind of like vocoding on
really?
his voice.
Weird.
Yeah, and even talked like the same kind of like lisp and all that.
Wow.
But the weird thing was, like, we got to talking, and he knows exactly where I go busking, or when I did back in the day.
Oh, really? That's
But,
scary.
Yeah, like he I think it was all a prank, but said they would be there on Friday night or something. You should be there. I'm like, no, I'm not going down to Phil's anymore. BLM ruined that.
Wow, that's scary. Do you feel like they were gang stalking you?
No, I think it was all a prank, man. There was like 3 people. There was even this Pavana, you know, Pavana.
Yeah,
Like, she called, like, having some kind of cow about something.
Oh, wow. Well, we don't like to have cows about stuff, and I don't even get involved with all that stuff, but it's scary that they knew where you were. I would be concerned about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't live in Fells Point, so I'm not too worried about it.
Right. That's cool.
You know.
Well, cool, man.
And,
How have you been? Have you been okay?
Yeah, pretty good, man.
Good.
Supposed to be getting another infusion. It's been like over a year. All that COVID shit happened, and then like,
right.
All the and then there was also other things that kept me from getting. I had surgery, you know about that.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like a year late from getting it, and I'm wondering what my MRI is going to look like.
Yeah, I hope it looks good.
I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think I've had any flare-ups or nothing, but anyway, thanks for letting me call, man.
Thanks for calling in,
you're
man.
sounding good, man. You're like back to normal, brother.
You think so? Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't feel 100%. I don't feel the same, but I'm glad. Thanks, man. I'm glad you like the show, and thanks for throwing down a super chat. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, my friend. You take care, all right?
All right, you too, Jim. See ya.
All right, see ya.
All right, cool. Hey, I saw an order come in. Insert name here. Just got a couple shirts. Love the quality. Thank you for that. Wow, this is a really productive stream. Yeah, tomorrow I go to see my psychiatrist, so I get to report on the things I went through this summer. So I'm hoping I can. I'm just trying to get back to normal. And we're doing hour-long shows, which are pretty good. And man, I really appreciate the support today. Holy cow. Job for 9, Be More Busker, Arthur McGonnell, and an order for shirts. Can't tell you guys. Thank you so much. Just like, I'm so grateful. So I'm going to go to, right now, I'm going to wrap up the show, go to the post office with the orders that I have. I might be able to pack that other order too. I might be able to if it's easy enough. So maybe I'll get that out today. So thanks everybody. It's a blessing to be alive, and it's a blessing to be here, and it's a blessing to be able to see you guys and have you guys support the show. Hopefully things will get better in the world. That's what we'll hope for. Okay. So we'll see you. We'll wrap it up there and just say thank you, and we'll see you at the next one. Okay. For now, that's what